It was a choice I made. And the choice I made was...
I keep getting asked this type of question: how do I get discipline, or how do I want discipline, or how do I maintain discipline? And the answer, it's a simple answer, but obviously
There's only one thing I'll tell you, and I think a lot of people get a lot out of this. Every single mistake I've ever made in my life that I can recall right now could have been solved with a singular question.
So, lately I've been watching a lot of interviews with ex-Special Forces guys, especially Navy SEALs, and I wanted to talk to you about it for a second because some of the stuff that they talk about is very fascinating to me, and not in a political way and not even the war stories, but much more the mental toughness aspect and the discipline aspect. I wanted to talk to you about that because it really changed my way of thinking and my mindset, and maybe it can help you too. Well, first of all, I want to start by saying that I'm by no means an expert in this world. I know that the Special Forces are a complex topic, and I know that not everyone in these units is a role model. But what does stand out to me and what I take inspiration from is the mindset that some of these guys have. So without further ado, let's get started. Just to be clear, I'm not glorifying war. I don't agree with everything these governments or operations do, especially when it comes to the US. There's a lot of shady stuff going on that I don't support, but I also think that it's okay to separate the politics from the mindset and take something useful from these people's experiences. So let's start with this. Lately I found myself slipping a bit, not doing the things I said I would, letting comfort take over, just being a lazy piece of shit, you could say. You know, sleeping in more, making excuses, all that stuff. And yeah, I was just kind of coasting through the days without really pushing myself at all. And that's when I found David Goggins, and of course I knew David Goggins beforehand and I already had read his book, but I reread this book, and the part where he talks about BUDS. BUDS is basically the Navy SEALs training. I don't know what it stands for. I think it's Basic Underwater Demolition something. Wait a second. Just Google it. BUDS stands for Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. The part where he talks about that in this book, and especially Hell Week, that's the 5 days where they almost have zero sleep and they're always wet and cold and they get physically punished, and yeah, it's just made to see who breaks, and a lot of them do break because it's very, very hard. So let's say it like that. So this training is basically meant to break people, and hearing how Goggins and later also other people got through that, you know, Goggins did it through embracing the pain, getting fuel from the pain, and I really found that fascinating. That's why I wanted to hear more about other people who got through that, and that's when I started to get into the interviews of other Navy SEALs like DJ Shipley, Shawn Ryan, and Jocko Willink. I'm sure you already know him. But first, when I reread this book, I thought to myself, how the fuck are these people going through such difficult things, and I'm just sitting here whining and complaining about the most basic stuff. So something about this mindset hit me, and I was just like, bro, stop whining and go do something. So that's what kicked me a bit back into motion, but I still wanted to hear other people talk about that. That's why I watched these interviews, and let's say DJ Shipley, Shawn Ryan, Jocko Willink, and there are a lot of other ex-Navy SEALs that I watched, but all of them have something in common. Although their stories are very different, although their mindset is also different, they have one thing in common, and that is they've all been through situations that required extreme discipline, responsibility, and control under pressure. And the more I watched, the more I realized this isn't just about motivation, not at all. It was like seeing a mirror of what's possible if I stop negotiating with my limits, if I stop negotiating with my mind. Watching them talk about pain, about pushing through fears, about holding the line, it made me realize like, damn bro, I've been really just scratching the surface of what I'm truly capable of. I mean, these guys aren't superhumans, they just made a decision over and over again to lean into the discomfort and to get better. And I started asking myself, what if I could tap into just a piece of that? What if we all could? Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's about finding examples like this that push you, that motivate you, that show you what's truly possible. And you don't need to be in the military to apply some of these lessons, some of the things that they talk about. And that's how I pulled myself out of a rut. And yeah, I just needed to learn to get a bit more comfortable being uncomfortable. So yeah, that's what's been on my mind lately. I wanted to make a video about that, and I would like to hear in the comments if you watched any of these interviews, or what other interviews inspire you, what other people inspire you to push yourself. And if you're interested in the topics of self-improvement, mindset, and just getting better overall, then make sure to subscribe. My brother and I talk about these topics all the time in our videos. So yeah, if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you like this video. I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.
You have no fucking idea how great you really are, because you are using such minimal of what you have. It became a way of living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline. It's a regimen. It was a choice I made. And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? And I was willing to give up everything to do that. But when you put that practice in, every day you lace them up, and I don't mean run. It's just a metaphor for life. When you lace them motherfuckers up every day, pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll fucking win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody can go fuck themselves, the heck it's gonna fucking suck. And that's what I realized. That's what I realized. Life, that's why I want to come on here today. I didn't want to come on here and talk about no fucking passion and purpose and how to get the fuck out of bed and how to hit a fucking alarm clock and all this catchphrase bullshit. Because that wasn't how I lived. That wasn't how I lived. I woke up like every human being does and goes, fuck, man, I'm a fucking piece of shit today. How the hell is this going to work out for me? And you fight that.
I keep getting asked this type of question: how do I get discipline, or how do I want discipline, or how do I maintain discipline? And the answer, it's a simple answer, but obviously it's not easy. And there's all kinds of little tricks and methods that people talk about, and they have some merit. Maybe they do work, these things, do the little things people say, and wake up early. I say that, and write things down, and take cold showers, and tell everyone what you're going to do. So broadcast it, and make promises, or make bets with your friends of something that you don't want to lose. And those things, those ideas, they're cool. I'm sure they're going to have some impact, and if they work for you, that's awesome. But the fact of the matter is that the reason discipline is hard to maintain is because it is hard to maintain. That's what makes discipline hard. It's hard. And if you hear me claim that discipline is easy for me, then straight up, that's just my ego talking. That's what that is. Because I'm, unfortunately, just as human as everyone else. And it is work to maintain the discipline. That's what it is, work. Holding the line. Maintaining the standard. Giving no slack, none. That's the discipline. That's the discipline, and it is hard. And if there's one thing I would say that does make it easier, it's to envision what it feels like when you're done. What it feels like after you've worked out, or you've held the line on your food intake, or you've pushed through some monotonous project that you have to do, and all those things. When they're done, they feel good. And contrary to that, envision what you will feel like later when you let the discipline slack. You know the feeling. Feeling weak.
Like, to think back of who I was 5 years ago and to think I could still be that person now, that's one of the biggest scares I have. If I would have maintained that trajectory where I'd be at right now, if I wouldn't have surrounded myself with positive people, if I somehow would have managed the storm and where I'd be at, like, nobody I'd want to be. Definitely not clonable. I wouldn't want 25 me running around. Not back then. There are moments in my life where ultra proud of who I am and what I've done and what I've contributed, and moments in my life where I couldn't be more embarrassed. I look at it, is that a professional answer? Why'd I do it? Here, stone cold sober, I have no idea. I think that's the thing that plagues me the most. If I look back on the big errors I've made, there's only one thing I'll tell you, and I think a lot of people get a lot out of this. Every single mistake I've ever made in my life that I can recall right now could have been solved with a singular question. Is what I'm doing now or what I'm about to do benefit my group in any way? No. Does me drinking a six-pack and driving make my team better? Nope. Does me getting shit-faced and staying out till 4 a.m. in downtown LA when I've got a wife and 2 kids at home make me better? Nope. Does it make my family better? No. Does it hurt my family? Does that affect my job too? So you're actually hurting the team. Yep. Does skipping the gym make my team better? Nope. Taking all these drugs make it better? Nope. It's like, at the end of the day, if you just look at it in that, everything I do physically, everything I do in my morning routine is for the optimal end state. Does that support the optimal end state? No. What are you doing? It solves itself. And I had a troop chief that told me that everything you're doing should be purpose-built. So now everything I do now, I just ask myself that. Is this potential to hurt your team, my team being my family? Yeah, so I'm not going to do it. Does this potentially hurt GBRS? Potentially. Don't do it. Then I don't. And it solves itself. Like now there's more checks and balances. I just look at it objectively. That doesn't make them better. I'm not doing it.